You are listening to Visionaries Wrestling Network, providing your perfect podcast experience.
M is for Mason.
G is for Graham.
B for Thatcher.
This is the MGB Wrestling Podcast, the podcast with PG-rated material accessible to wrestling fans of all ages. Hi, my name is Mason, and here's proof that wrestling fans still live with their parents, my co-host, my dad, Graham.
Alright, Mason. This was the last Nova Pro event. We all make mistakes, or I guess they changed it to Fan Appreciation Night. Now, we haven't done a regular MGB episode in, I don't even know how many weeks now. This is like our fourth Nova Pro. We've had Fury Pro, we've had WrestleGate Pro. I don't even remember when we last reviewed Raw or SmackDown. Now, I don't think I even told you about this, so I'm not sure otherwise where I'm going to fit this in, so we're going to do this now. About 2 weeks ago, it was the Visionaries Wrestling Network year anniversary. If you remember, we actually started just on YouTube, and then we released on that. They actually had a poll for different podcast awards. Best podcast, best idea, best whatever, okay? So they actually released these. They didn't put it out on Twitter. They just put it out on View from the Top Rope last week. So while I was in, I actually heard it as I was going to WrestleMania with Matt. You haven't heard this, so I thought I would play this so you can hear, and we can get your reaction as well. Not sure how good it's going to come out because I'm putting it on my podcast. I'm on my iPod, and I'm putting it into the recorder.
Let's start out with the big one. Why not? Podcast of the year. This is the top one. It's right on top. It's the first one I thought of. We won Podcast of the Year. Thank you to everyone who voted.
All you guys. I had nothing to do with it.
Best original concept. The winner is Good Cop, Bad Cop.
Really? Wow.
Oh, yeah. Good job, Matt.
Favorite podcaster. Let's get honest. He's everybody's favorite podcaster. This award goes to Mason Bagshaw.
He's going to win every year.
Yay.
I totally voted for him as well. So, yeah. As long as my vote's the one who wins, that's what I care about.
Well. I thought that was a reasonable one, and I don't know if you could hear it from the quote. They did say everybody's favourite podcaster. So they didn't have the stats for it, but I'm going to guess it was pretty unanimous. Everybody I talked said they'd voted for you. I thought that was perfectly reasonable that we do that. But I wasn't happy for Good Cop, Bad Cop that we got Best Original Idea, because I thought that was... Alright, let's get back to the real thing then. So, as we said, this was the Fan Appreciation Night. This was supposed to be at the Old Ox Brewery, and then it got moved to the JCC because of some issues. A lot of changes to this as well. Originally, and we weren't even going to go at one point, and then there was 12 tickets left, and I was like, alright, I'm buying tickets. It was the week before WrestleMania, but I was like, I want to go see it. Originally set to appear, Jordan Grace, Alley Cat, Tara Calloway, Rebel, Tito Santana, Coach Gator, Josh Briggs, and Sanjay Dutt. None of those people turned up to this event. Mainly because of the issues that actually happened. Josh Briggs was injured, in all fairness. We certainly knew Jordan, Ali, and Tara weren't going to be there because they'd mentioned it. I didn't see Rebel mention anything about it. I didn't see Tito Santana mention it. Not sure what happened to Coach Gator, to be honest. And Sanjay Dutt, we just didn't know. He said he was going to be there because it was going to be his final sort of match at Nova. And, yeah, I don't know. Don't know what happened with that. Before we start, I want to read something from Twitter, though. I wanted to make it clear, after careful thought and consideration, I have decided that this Saturday's show will be the final Nova Pro event. This is from 2 days before the event. We've come a long way in 3.5 years and over 40 shows, and after the controversies and scandals over the past few months, it just seems like it would be in the best interest of myself and a lot of other people moving forward if we no longer produce live wrestling events. I encourage the fans to check out other independents in the area and give them your support, especially groups like Flying V, Crab Wrestling, Primal Conflict Wrestling, and Fury Pro. And we've certainly been to 3 of those 4 already. I want to thank every member of staff that helped bring these shows together, every wrestler that ever wrestled here, and every fan that's ever bought a ticket for Nova Pro that's allowed me and so many others to live this dream over the last few years. Thank you guys for taking the time to read this, and I can't wait to see everyone on Saturday at the JCC. And that was from Mikey King. Well, that's how he signed off on there. So, yeah, we didn't know at this point, because it said hiatus, which just means like a break. I honestly thought 6 months they'll be back again. I know there were some problems, but I was like, they'll be back again. And, yeah, didn't happen. I kind of got to see a final Nova Pro event, because the one that was at rescheduled for WrestleMania weekend with GCW featured people like Nick Gage, who's certainly been at Nova Pro, Logan, Easton, Laroux. We also had Ali Cat, Shotzi Blackheart, Chris Statlander. And we also had a Nova Pro dodgeball match as well. Faye Jackson, Wheeler Yuta, Tara Calloway. It says Aaron Royal on one of the reviews that I copied down. That's clearly Arik Royal. Vader Scott, Shaz McKenzie, Jeff Cannonball, and it says Glasses here. I didn't even notice that as I wrote it down. No, I already mentioned Vader Scott. It's Sage Phillips. Wow, that's the worst review ever. I wish I'd written down who I actually picked this from. It also has Daniel McCabe, who had actually never wrestled in Nova Pro as far as I know, and also Red Eagle as well. Wow, I thought Aaron Royal was bad, but Glasses is, yeah, that's classic. That's really good. Okay, now, we actually kind of messed up on this. We talked about not really taking thorough notes because we just wanted to watch the last event. So you said, I'm just going to write down who's in which match. And I was like, that's fine. And we were going to record it. I was exhausted on the Sunday. I was so tired. We were actually supposed to go to Crab Wrestling. And I just said to... I said to Josh Paul, I was like, we can't make it. I was like, we're done. We're just too tired. It was even an outdoor event as well, which I really wanted to see an outdoor wrestling thing. That's on my to-do list.
Well, you got to at WrestleMania.
Not
does
outdoors.
That not count?
Oh, I guess technically that's I guess so. I hadn't really thought of it like that. Yeah, not quite what I was thinking. Like a little bit closer to the ring where you can see. I had reasonable seats, but it was still a little far away. I certainly couldn't see the reactions on the people's faces. That's for sure. So yeah, we didn't record it then, and then the following week you were often late, back from work, back from school. Not your fault at all. We were kind of busy, and then I was at WrestleMania, and then same thing. You've had baseball games as well in there as well. You've had a couple of games, so we just didn't get around to it. We were going to record last night, which would have been Friday, which would have been the 11th of April, nearly 2 weeks after. And then as we sat down, for some reason I thought you'd had the matches, because it was so long ago I forgot. And then I'm just like, I don't remember the matches. I've honestly tried to think. There's only one match that I can actually remember. And the only reason I can remember is I went back on Twitter to look for something, and I was like, oh, I totally forgot about that. So we were like, we're not even going to do anything. I put on Twitter, I was like, we're not even going to bother doing this. And then I suddenly thought, you talked about doing best moments as well, and I thought that's probably a little vague, probably too general. There's so many as well. Why don't we go through the card, and whoever's in the match, we'll just say something about that match. Particularly for me, it might be something that I saw over WrestleMania weekend, or it might just be something you remember from that match, or it might just be something in general. So we decided to do it that way, so it's not going to be an accurate review, but it'll be probably our last thoughts. Sometimes we pick up thoughts on people as well, or we'll see something on Twitter. I don't know when we're going to do that again. Yeah. I don't know. All right, first match was... Livid the Clown versus Wes Danger Rogers. Now, my surprise about this straight away was, that's a tag team.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, wonder who they're facing. Oh, each other. All right, what you got for this?
So when I was writing down the notes, I was like, okay, I wasn't paying attention too much, so I wrote Livid the Clown versus, oh, that's Wes Danger Rogers, and then I wrote Wes Danger Rogers. And then I wasn't thinking much of the time that they were an actual tag team. And
Simply Safe-ish.
Yeah. And then you were like, oh, that's a tag team. I guess who are they going to face? And then I was like, oh, I accidentally made them in a match. And then they started ringing the bells like...
yeah, that totally threw me.
Yeah. So this reminds me of something because they've been like a tag team. And this is what happened in my baseball game. So like usually when there's a runner on first and third... the runner on first steals to second.
Yes.
Or if the catcher throws the ball to second, then the third can run home.
The guy from third scores, correct.
So the catcher, Bennett, he throws it to shortstop, and usually you don't throw it. So they threw off all the runners, but then we quickly got the tag because like nobody was expecting that. So the third baseman just started running, but then he had to come back, so I stopped the tag.
Was this the one I was at WrestleMania weekend? Oh, okay. So I was going to say, I don't remember that one at all. And I missed not your match. I missed Jackson's first T-ball game as well. Yeah. So I didn't know that, of course, at the time because they hadn't announced the schedule. Now, most people probably wouldn't have known that was a tag team. We knew because we'd seen them at VCW a couple of times. And I guess my moment for this is, I actually talked to Wes Rogers at WrestleMania weekend. I wasn't expecting to. I was at Capitol Wrestling. Originally, Matt and I were going to go and see the Ugly Ducklings at the Nova Pro event. That got cancelled, and he really wanted to see the Ugly Ducklings. And just by chance, Capitol Wrestling, which I've been following, suddenly said, oh, Ugly Ducklings are going to be here. Tickets were $10. I'm like, easy decision. Even if we only go and see one match, we'll go and see that. And then I'm looking as they're setting the chairs out. I'm like, that's Wes. So anyway, carried on. And then Matt came back. He went to get a drink or something. Came back. I was like, where's Rogers over there? I was like, can you get a picture with us? So I went across, introduced myself, said that we were going to be reviewing the Nova Pro event, and theirs was the first match, and just had a little chat with him. And then another guy came and stand by the side of us. Didn't know who it was at all. Anyway, we started talking. And then I looked at his t-shirt. I was like, his t-shirt had a picture of Livid the Clown on it. I was like, you Livid? So I actually met Livid, the actual wrestler, without his mask. And I said, can I get a picture with you? And he's like, what, like now? Or like with the mask? And I was like, just now, if that's okay. I haven't posted that picture on social media, actually. I have that one on my phone, and I'm not posting it.
Yeah, don't do
I'm
it.
keeping that. Now, I'm not sure if Matt has. Actually, he went back out to his car, I think Matt said. He put his Livid mask on. And because I said Jackson's a huge fan of Livid, and we said how cool it was when he met him. And I said, if I'd known you were going to be here, he would have brought at the Nova Pro event, that he would have put the mask. Oh, we didn't talk about that at all. This was Jackson's first Nova Pro event as well. I bought an extra ticket once it was announced it was going to be the last Nova Pro. I was like, he needs to see one Nova Pro event. So I made sure I bought a ticket for him for that. So, we took a picture with Livid with his mask on, just so I could send it back to Jackson, so he could do it. That was really cool talking to those guys.
Yeah, so Livid, he does like purple nurples to West Danger Rogers, and then West Danger Rogers starts holding his nurples, and then Livid the Clown does the same thing, and then like later during like the Tim Donst match, that West Danger Rogers comes out and he has Band-Aids on.
I had forgotten about that. Did you have that written down, or did you remember that?
I remembered it.
That's good. I'd forgotten about that
and
one.
And the one note that I actually have down is that you wrote, "Is this in bad taste to shout out, please come back?"
Somebody behind, I think it was behind us. I don't know. I think it was somebody behind us. I don't know who it was that said that. It was, obviously, this was the last event, so you could do that. But I thought that was kind of All right, match 2 is Isaiah Frazier versus Mack Buckler.
Okay, so
I can go first if you like.
Yeah, you can.
Okay. I don't have anything specifically, except Jackson wanted to go to the bathroom at the most important match of all later on, which was Tim Donst. I was like, oh my god. I was like, are you kidding me? Anyway, we went to the bathroom, and so you normally have a segment of cool things I found out when I went to the bathroom. So we walked into the bathroom, and as soon as we walked in, you could see Arik Royal was stood there because he was in front of the mirror. And then we walked to the side, and Mack Buckler was there as well. And anyway, Jackson went to his urinal, and he's there. He's like, he knew it was Arik, and then he's like pointing. He's like, you can say hi to Arik if you like. So he said, hi, Arik. And then as Mack was there as well, I said, do you want to say hi to Mack Buckler as well? Because he didn't know Mack at that time as well. So he's like, hi, Mack, as Mack's leaving. But that's my story for Mack Buckler. Jackson got to say hi to Mack Buckler. Actually, I got something for Isaiah Frazier as well. We did get him to sign your jersey. Yeah. We had, as it was the last Nova Pro event, we did want to get a few autographs, and Isaiah Frazier was one of those people who we managed to get. Josh Fuller, who I mentioned earlier, he also signed it, and he actually said, I really wanted to sign it. He's like, but I didn't want to just ask. And we didn't ask him because I guess at that point, we hadn't really seen him that time. We interviewed him on the last year when you had your old jersey. So with the new jersey, it really just been flying V pretty much. We hadn't got many autographs at that point. All right, what you got for this one?
So there was I think Mack Buckler started to become a heel.
Okay, started.
Yeah.
I thought he was always a heel.
I mean a face.
Oh, okay, I was going to say.
It's starting to be a face. And, like, the crowd got really behind it, but Isaiah Frazier, he's always a face. And, I sort of... So there was this guy at when we just started going to Nova Pro. I don't remember his name.
Okay.
And he had, like, a Boston Red Sox tattooed on him.
Okay.
And then he was, like, this really big, strong guy.
Okay. Is he a wrestler?
Yeah.
Okay.
And he, like, I sort of got him mixed up with Isaiah Frazier at the start.
Innocent Isaiah?
No.
You get them
Isaiah
two mixed
Frazier.
up as well, though.
No, he was, like, just looked like him.
Oh, okay. All right. Match 3, Mikey Banker versus Eel O'Neal.
Mikey Banker, we got an interview with him. It was very fun. We were supposed to have an interview with him in, like...
Well, we were supposed to do it for the next Crab Wrestling, and for some reason it was like 4 months between events, so we didn't get it as quick as we thought. We wanted to do it at one of the Nova Pro events, but the guys all went up to MCW straight after their matches, so we didn't get a chance then. And I'd actually forgotten, and it was literally like, I don't even know, it might have been the day of, or the day before, and I was like, hey, I totally forgot, if it's still cool, we'll do that. And he said it was fine. And we talked about it, and we said we were going to do it during the intermission, and we did. And we'll play that clip once we've got to the end. So you did an interview. Actually, Jackson did an interview. On the ride up there, I was like, because you were still thinking of questions, because I forgot to tell you that, hey, we are interviewing Mikey Banker. And Jackson came up with more questions than you did in the car, which was funny.
But they weren't like...
They were totally silly questions. Well, you'll hear them in the interview, or you'll hear some of them. But he was getting into it. So I think we've got an up-and-coming podcast interviewer as well, which was kind of funny.
I don't know how I remember this, but Mikey Banker was wearing Gucci.
Oh, he was, yeah. I don't think that was real Gucci. I remember commenting on that and thinking that was not real Gucci. There was no way. That must have been a knockoff brand.
Somebody said in our class that she got Gucci flip-flops and it was $1,000.
They're really expensive. You get it for the name more than anything. But yeah, that would be absolutely ridiculous. I'm sure the retail price is $1,000. There's no way they paid $1,000. No one in your class paid $1,000 for...
No, like her grandma did for a present.
Probably the same thing. Like, I buy used stuff as well, and you see a price tag, it's like, that's not what you pay necessarily. Yeah. You can always get stuff cheaper than that.
Like, example, I went in for the book fair to help pack it up, and like the librarian said I can give you like $10 of stuff. And the price was supposed to be $32, but since all the final price and special prices, because it was near the end, it ended up being exactly $10.
There you go.
So,
yeah,
like,
books are a classic one for that. They have a set price on the back, but you walk into any store, well, if they have them anymore, like a Barnes & Noble, not that there's many of those nowadays, they're always like reduced straight away, or if you're a member, you get 30%.
Neal's, we saw him at EAW.
EWA.
EWA.
We did? And that's actually one of my facts I'm going to mention. I do have it was a brutal match. I can't remember exactly what happened, but there was no padding on the outside of the floor, because we noticed that. It was literally just the wooden floor. And I think he got suplexed.
Yeah.
And it might have been actually from the apron to the ground, and it was like, oh! And Neal did post on Twitter, it was like, this was like the only part of the match that didn't hurt, and it was as he came into he did his ring entrance pretty much. But it was a brutal match, I do remember that.
Wait, it was in a cage, everything was in a cage, so we could, oh, never mind.
That was a AWA, yes, not this match, this wasn't. Now, I have a quote, though, from Twitter, though, because we did miss the last EWA because we couldn't get there, because it was on a Friday, and it started at like 7, and it was like, there's no way we can do that on a Friday. Traffic's far too tough around here. It's official. Eel O'Neill and Mr. Jones will be forming a tag team, and they need your help. Over the next few weeks, we'll be running a competition to name this new tag team. Go ahead, put your suggestions in the comments below, and we'll take the top 3 suggestions and put it to a fan vote. Alright, I know you love coming up with creative tag team names, so Eel O'Neill and Mr. Jones. Anything sort of coming to your head straight away, or is that one you're going to think? Alright, we're at Nova Pro's last event. This is the fan appreciation night. We got Mikey Banker with us. You've been on our list for a while, Mikey. Well, finally, we've managed to track you down. We've managed to get a bit of time with you. We're going to do our normal thing. We're going to do a quick interview, and then we're going to do a few questions, okay? Alright, Mason, you're up.
What was your favorite Nova Pro moment?
My favorite Nova Pro moment is when Nova Project 4, when I walked out there with the fearless Gator Pit, it took on to me and Mr. Isaiah Frazier and beat him down in front of his home crowd. Probably my favorite moment.
How did you join the Gator Pit?
Join the Gator Pit? This is a very good one. So one
very
day...
Good one.
Josh, get out of here.
Go on.
Oh, I'm scared now.
Go on, you're on a roll.
Gosh, man. Shucks. So how I joined the Gator Pit was this. One day I was sitting at home, packing in my bag. This is when I'm still doing True Mikey. I get a call from Gator saying, hey, I got an opportunity for you. And I was like, I might as well see what he did. He told me to show up on Project 4. So I showed up, and there he goes.
All right, got one more?
How did you get your nickname True?
Funny fact. When I first started training, I came from amateur wrestling. My wrestling coach is always like, messing with me. He was like, okay, man, we're going to go for 2. Go for 2. And one day I said, screw it. Coach, I'm going for True. And this, like, ever since then, this followed me ever since high school.
Now, Jackson, you had a question as well, didn't you? Do you want to ask Mikey your question?
Do you like to smell the garbage?
Do I like to smell garbage? Well, with me, this trendsetter thing, I don't smell garbage. I smell like a lot of gold and different clothes. But Jack, no, I don't like to smell garbage. No, that stuff stinks.
He had a more sensible question, but I can't remember what it was. But he said that one, and he said he wanted to ask you that. So I said, hey, that's fine.
I think you got one more.
Do you like Space Jam?
Oh, that was it. Do you like Space Jam, the film?
Oh, do I like Space Jam? Some of the guy with Michael Jordan.
Michael Jordan, that's it.
Yeah, with Bugs Bunny. Never heard of it.
Okay, fair enough. All right, so the quiz we got for you, for all you smarter than a 5-year-old.
I'm going to beat Jack.
With your last name being Banker, you got to figure out, are these famous bankers from England, or are these famous wrestlers from England?
Okay.
So you're either going to say banker, or you're going to say wrestler. Okay? This is actually from Attack Pro Wrestling, which was established in 2011 by Pete Dunne and ring announcer Jim Lee.
Okay, first name, Charles Big.
Easy with that word. I want to say wrestler.
No, he was a banker.
God dang
Clay
it.
McLeod.
Wrestler.
Correct. That's 1. Dawson Tanner.
Banker.
Correct. 2. George Jellicoe.
I want to say wrestler.
No, I thought it sounded like Jericho, which is why I picked it, but it's not. It's actually a banker. So he's still on 2. Jude London.
Banker.
No, that was a wrestler.
God.
Kyle Fletcher.
Wrestler.
Correct. 3. Mike Bailey.
Banker.
Nope, that was a wrestler.
Gosh.
Moses DaCosta.
Man, you get some hard questions here. I'm
Yep,
going to say, I don't want to be wrong. I'm going to say banker.
Correct. That's 4. Paris Da Silva.
Wrestler.
Correct. 5. Last one, Samson Lloyd.
Banker.
Correct. 6.
Yeah.
All right. We already recorded Jackson's answers, so we're going to play that on the podcast now.
All right, Jackson. So it's either banker or wrestler, okay? Banker, somebody who works in a bank, okay? All right, first name, Charles Big.
Wrestler.
No. Clay McLeod.
Banker.
Nope. Dawson Tanner.
Wrestler.
Nope. George Jellicoe.
Banker, I guess.
Correct. Jude London.
Wrestler.
Correct. Kyle Fletcher.
Banker.
Nope. Mike Bailey.
I'm going banker.
Nope. Moses DaCosta.
Wrestler.
Nope. Paris Da Silva.
Wrestler.
Correct. And last one, Samson Lloyd.
Wrestler.
Nope, he was a banker. All right, you got 3 out of 10, and we'll have to see how Mikey did against you, okay? All right, thank you, Jay.
Hey.
All right, so Mikey, we just heard the answer. Jackson got 3, you got 6. So who does that mean wins, Jackson?
Mikey.
Mikey wins.
I can't hear that, Jack. Say that one more time.
Mikey.
Mikey won.
Yeah.
Congratulations, Mikey. You are smarter than a 5-year-old. Thank you very much for spending some
Yes, so
time
thank
with
y'all
us.
so much.
That was it. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to match 4. This was Captain Crunch, I think that's the name of their tag team anyway, versus Beau Crockett and Jake Hollister. And I think it's my turn to go first on this one, right? So Captain Crunch, as we were walking around, there wasn't too much merch that we kind of wanted from this one. We kind of got most people's stuff already. We did want to... Jackson did want a picture with Captain Crunch. So we asked the guys, like, how much is it for a picture? And they were like, oh, it's nothing. We'll just come around and take a picture. So they were really cool with doing that. Their match was really entertaining again. You knew that their figure was the Captain Crunch figure was going to get suplexed and elbow dropped and all that stuff. And it did. And it was just as funny as it was first time around. It's good to see Jake Hollister back in the ring as well. I know he'd been injured for a while. And I actually saw Jake at Capital Wrestling as well. Wasn't expecting it. And the Ugly Ducklings match, there was actually 3 tag teams, and Jake Hollister was one of those. He actually squared off against Coach Mikey. My picture was awful. I guess the lighting wasn't too good. I think it was on my iPod as well, because I was trying to save my phone for WrestleMania. And it came out a little bit blurry, but yeah, he squared up with Coach Mikey, and Coach Mikey definitely got the better of him. So those would be my memories. One more thing, which I hadn't realised on the first one, the part of Captain Crunch, I can't remember what the other guy is called, but the first guy was Joe King. Mm-hmm. Who we actually saw at the very first, well, sorry, not the very first, our very first tryout show, the Sinkhole Swim one, because I remember the name. So, but yeah, those guys were really cool to do that, and we certainly appreciated it, and I know Jackson in particular really appreciated it.
I know you're going to start laughing at me.
Oh, good.
But...
Oh, good. Hold on, let me just check it's still recording. All right, we're good. I don't want to miss this. Christmas cracker alert. Go ahead.
Did one of Jake Hollister's ancestors make the Hollister brand?
I don't know. I doubt it. I don't know how old you think that brand is.
That was just a random thought.
How old do you think that brand is?
I don't know, like 1936 or something?
I have no idea.
That's the first thing that comes to mind, but like one of his ancestors?
I don't know. Shall I Google it now?
No.
Okay. I don't know. It's easy to get clothes, though, right? You can just go to the Hollister store and put it on. It certainly makes it easy to do, that's for sure. With this being the last event, kayfabe was broken multiple times on this. There was actually no sign that said Beau leave. In fact, if anything, I think the crowd might have actually said, Beau, stay. Yeah, it was actually kind of, there was a lot of sentimental moments. And even the 1% or the gated community, who were back for this event as well, that's something I forgot to talk about right at the start. They actually applauded him, and I think they might have even given him a drink of Fiji water as well. But yeah, everybody was, obviously Beau Crockett's been there right from day one. There's not been many people who have. Logan's certainly one, and I know Bobby Shields has one as well. And yeah, he plays a great character. If without him, it would have been certainly a far duller place. And I believe he was part of the Carnies for a while as well. I think it was like a different name, or was it? It's not Beauty and the Beast. There was something like that. I don't remember. But yeah, there was certainly kayfabe broken, and that was my thought for this one.
Oh yeah, the guy screamed, the mask guy, like Vader.
He's very high pitched.
Very high pitched. He looks like Vader, like the face.
He does, yeah. I wish I could remember his name. I follow him on Twitter, and
like
I cannot.
Bobby or something.
I can't remember.
It starts with a B.
I don't know. Can't remember. All right, match 5 was the returning Mr. Grimm and the returning Hope Rockwell.
I thought it was Hype Rockwell.
Oh, it is Hype Rockwell.
Yay!
Yep.
Hashtag Mason was right.
I think I was reading from your writing, so let me have a look on your pad here, mister.
Hype.
And let's see what you actually wrote down. If that's a Y, you have the worst writing ever.
No, H-I.
That looks like H-R, if anything. That's terrible. I'm taking a screenshot of that and posting it online. That looks nothing like Hype.
At least you didn't notice that I put Mr. Grin. Okay, I thought that was the least funnier than the...
I did not notice you actually put that at all, but I knew who it was. I knew it was Mr. Grimm. Oh, you did put Mr. Grin. I knew who that was, though.
I told you my pen kept going in and out.
Uh-huh. Alright, what you got for this one, buddy?
Mr. Grimm, he has, like, this, scary skull on his, like, Money in the Bank thing.
Uh-huh.
Like, I want to know what's inside.
We didn't get to find out again, did we?
Didn't you say there was, like, a casket or something?
That was something, he had a body bag.
Oh, yeah, like because I was watching The Flash, and then they put, like, the things on top of dead people.
Uh-huh.
Is that what
the body bags. That's when you're dead. They put your body inside a bag, they zip it up, and then they carry it off. So they carry the bag rather than carrying you. Because if it stayed for a while, obviously your body would start to decay, and it would be a little bit gross.
I watched this movie once. Well, not a movie, like a video, and it said that Shakespeare used, like, some, like, insect blood as blood.
Okay.
Like, and it was
Make
poisonous.
it more realistic. Oh, gosh.
And, like, Mom looked up, like, I was curious about the corsets or whatever, the thing around your waist, and then it said that if you wear it too long, if you wear it so much, then your ribs start, like, caving in.
If you have it too tight.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah,
so,
absolutely.
like, men had to do the women roles, and then they had to wear a corset.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yeah, they used to switch roles.
The people look scary skinny.
Yes, well, they probably didn't have access to as much food in those times either. So, yes, people certainly wouldn't eat. So people certainly weren't going to McDonald's to eat like they are now.
Yeah.
So, yes, no, the calorie intake in those days would have been a lot less, but also they would have burnt off a lot more because most people used to do, like, manual labour, or they would be doing heavy loading, or they'd be doing lots of stuff that required a lot more effort in some cases, or you could be farming as well. You could be on the farm all day. So.
Okay, I don't know how Mr. Grimm turned into McDonald's, but...
Because you were talking about what was in his
bags.
bag, and then we went to body bags, and then you went to another story, and then we went
Flash.
from there. Alright, my thought for this one was, I don't have much for this at all, except Mr. Grimm was doing basically the same character. Again, obviously, he's a character. But basically, he was coming out all tough and that, and then he'll poke his head out the ring. He's like, whoa, wait, when I'm ready. And he wasn't always ready to fight, and he had his moments, but I didn't actually write down the winner for this. I think it was Hype Rockwell. It was an enjoyable match.
Mm-hmm. And,
I liked the match. There was nothing particular. 2 weeks later, unfortunately, and I've also seen 6 events since this as well. Unfortunately, now I just don't remember. It's just fun. I remember having positive thoughts about this one though. All right, next match was Sin and Money Greene versus the Carnies. Jackson was really excited to see Money Greene. That high five that he gave him at Crab Wrestling. I know some wrestlers really realize how much that affects little kids. He loved it. He thought it was great, and he still remembered that, and he got really excited he saw him. We did get his autograph as well. He also autographed Jackson's jersey, and it was really cool. Unfortunately, we did miss grab wrestlers the next day like we talked about. And the other thing I had from this, we did try and get the Carnies autograph on the 8x10, but they didn't actually have any 8x10s. And I think when we were trying to fill up the jersey in the end, I think they'd gone by that point. I don't remember seeing them, because I'm sure that would have been an autograph that you would try to get as well. I did talk to them and said, hey, I thought it was really cool that we saw you on Bar Wrestling, or I saw you on Bar Wrestling, because I wasn't expecting that in California.
Yeah.
And I'm
California?
sure... Yeah, it was California. Bar Wrestling's California. And I was like, whoa, Carnies? That's a long way for them to travel. I was expecting, like, all West Coast wrestlers, and suddenly there's an East Coast wrestler there. I'm pretty sure we'll see the Carnies again. I would say I follow them on Twitter, and you see them popping up in different places. Okay. I think they're based in Tennessee, so that's somewhere we might possibly go at some point.
I know this is, like, just my imagination, but then it's never going to happen. But I want to see a West Coast versus East Coast. Like, match.
What do you mean?
Like, match. Yeah, like,
sure you see plenty of those.
No.
One wrestler from the West Coast?
No, like the best of the West versus the beast of...
like a special pay-per-view or something?
Yeah.
Or like...
it could be like the
kind
best...
of like an all-star game?
Yeah. The
That'd
best
cool.
of the West versus the East Beasts or
Beast
whatever.
of the East? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not sure who comes... I probably don't know much about the West Coast, because I tend to focus on East Coast wrestling. I like things like Beyond Wrestling, Freelance Wrestling.
Yeah, and like
AEW.
WWE, because it doesn't really count, because they like travel all
Correct.
over.
Correct. Oh, I think like an all-star game would be great for wrestling. I guess that's kind of what WrestleMania is, but like for the indies, yeah. I think that would be really cool. Like, I'd like to see something like that.
Like there's an all-star, like I sort of saw one of those. Like there's you gave me a DVD, Field of Honor, and they have like in between they show like an at-bat of a wrestler. And this wrestler, Michael Elgin, he crushed it over the wall. Oh,
he's strong. I can totally believe that. And we were near that area, and I was telling Matt about that, the fact that you're making connections between different things, and the fact that you said on that video, oh, look, there's Cheeseburger. Because we actually just talked about him on Fury Pro, which we released, well, as this is recording, the week previous. And who did I see at Ring of Honor? Cheeseburger. So that's kind of cool that you just talked about him being in Brooklyn at that stadium where we went to see the Great Britain try and qualify for the Baseball World Classic, and then that sort of thing. So things are linking together, and I was saying to Matt that you're making like great connections now between stuff.
The commentator said Cheeseburger. Isn't like who is Shotzi Blackheart's like boyfriend?
Oh gosh.
Trent Seven? Or...
not Trent Seven. Trip Cassidy.
Yeah, Trip Cassidy. Isn't he like the clown one, sorta?
Yeah. Oh, yes, he is. Yes, from the Carnies. Yeah,
he's in the Carnies.
Yeah, because that was the thing. She was supposed to be in the Commonwealth Cup qualifier, and Trip Cassidy was supposed to be in the Commonwealth Cup qualifier, and Shotzi took the match instead, and she won. And then they were arguing about who was going to be in the next round, which is academic now because it didn't happen. But yes, that was it.
Yeah,
and I did see Shotzi actually at the GCW event. She was in a 4-way match with, and I actually wrote these down in case I wanted to link any of them in. I think this was the Swamp Monster. Here we go. The Swamp Monster Lumberjack match, which you saw yesterday. It was Alley Cat versus Shotzi Blackheart versus Chris Statlander, who appeared in SmackDown after WrestleMania.
She did?
Yeah, she was part of the Brooklyn Bells, I think it was called, versus the Iconics. I don't think it was a title match, and I can't remember who the other person was on the team. They looked really good. It was really cool. I was like, oh my god, that's Chris Statlander on like SmackDown. It was great. And versus Soraya Knight was the other person for that match.
Is she related to Ricky Knight?
Yes, we talked about this. This is Paige's mom. Because we talked about this before, like, isn't it bad that your daughter can't wrestle anymore because you're into the neck, but you're still wrestling? That was it. She was supposed to appear at the Born to Run event, so it was kind of cool that she was actually at GCW. She was not PG though, which is why we turned the. I don't think. Oh, I didn't show you that match.
You didn't even let me watch it.
No, I didn't. I let you watch the intro, and then I turned it down. You
didn't even let me watch the intro.
No, because she had something very inappropriate on her shirt, and you can read, and he can't read. So,
like, what does it mean to be ballsy?
It just means that you, I guess you're a fighter. Oh. You do things that are brave. Or probably... Alright, let's move on to match. I haven't lost track where it is. I think this is 7. Bobby Shields versus Breaux Keller. Alright, you're up first this time.
Yeah, Bobby Shields, he, wasn't he in the 1%?
He was for a while, yep. And then he fell out with Logan, yep.
Breaux Keller, didn't you buy one of his shirts too?
I did. You just spoiled one of my things, but yeah, go ahead. That's fine. What else you got?
He has some big jumps.
He does? He can fly. Breaux Keller is. I picked Breaux Keller for my. I think I might have talked about it already. My fantasy baseball team. I said I want him in right field.
Yeah.
He'll hype the crowd up and he can do good jumps to try and rob people of home runs. Yeah.
He was in my fantasy one too.
No, he wasn't.
Yeah, he was.
He was. You picked more than one. Yeah, you picked more than one local wrestler for that one, I think.
Oh.
All right, so as towards the end, after the match, we went over, because I don't think he was there at the intermission. Oh, we were interviewing at the intermission, so we kind of missed time. That's why we didn't get the stuff then. I knew he wanted an autograph, and he had stuff, so that was like, that's great. So you got your autograph. We then left to try and catch up with some other people, see if they'd like sign your shirt, whatever. And we did that, and then Jackson was like, I want an autograph. He wanted Breaux Keller's autograph as well, so we had to go back and buy one for him. And at the same time, I bought a shirt as well. It was a nice looking shirt. Now, obviously people aren't going to know what the shirt looks like. You're not going to get this reference at all, Mason. It reminded me of the David Bowie album cover, Aladdin Sane. It kind of looks like it's got lots of swashes of colour on it in the front, and it looks really cool. I actually wore it on the way back from WrestleMania. And I kind of did that because we were returning to Nova. Obviously, Breaux Keller's in Nova. It's a nice looking shirt. I was quite happy. I thought his shirts are pretty good. I think it was $20. That's not too bad, actually.
I can picture Matt laughing right now.
Why is that?
Because you make like a reference and it seems funny, sort of.
Okay.
I feel like people are gonna laugh.
I don't know if Matt's gonna know that. It's an old album.
Well, he's gonna be laughing at the Mr. Greene.
Oh, okay. I think that album's probably from before I was even born. That's how old it is. I think it was 1972, if I remember. It's a classic album. I'm a big fan of David Bowie. Unfortunately, he died a couple of years ago. But no, he was a really cool person. And actually, as we came back, we actually said to Breaux as well, hey, would you mind signing would you mind signing Mason's jersey as well? And he was the last space. That was the last space that we had there. So that was the last autograph that we got on. All right, next match is Anthony Greene versus Alexander James.
So me and Jackson put our hands out for a high five, and then Anthony Greene, he did
faked you out. He didn't give you a high five at all. It was hilarious. Nope. I haven't looked. Jay Lee mentioned actually on Twitter that they've posted some of the pictures, but not all of them yet. And I said, I'm going to look over spring break because there'll be a lot. And I know they talked about, I was hoping that they might have a picture of that. I was dying with laughing. I thought it was hilarious. I thought that was just so funny.
The show.
Now, he was actually cool. And when we went to the bathroom and when we came back, actually, as we went to the bathroom, Jackson noticed the Platinum Honeys. Because he was like, oh, that's the Platinum. And I don't know if he used that phrase, but he recognized the Platinum Honeys from that match. And then when we came back, Anthony Greene was there, and he asked us, like, you enjoying the match, whatever. And he actually gave Jackson another high five. Now, you got another high five before that, though, because actually before the match even started, I think as Alexander James was coming in, I think he jumped down off the ring and actually gave you guys proper high fives, right? So he broke character for you guys, which I thought was pretty cool that he did that. I thought it was funny that he didn't. I would have been quite happy if he'd not given you a high five at all. And your face tells me you wouldn't have been happy with that at all.
Ooh, I got something funny. So, Alexander James, he stepped on Anthony Greene's hand, and then one of the Platinum Honeys gave him a kiss. Uh-huh. And then he gave him a headbutt, and then the Platinum Honey gave him a kiss. And
then God, this is not making a podcast. Okay, you're going to say another word.
And then he did an atomic drop.
I forgot about this. I knew where you were going, though. Uh-huh. Did he get a kiss for that as well?
No.
Okay. Phew. Okay.
Oh, and one of the Platinum Honeys was on one of the turnbuckles, and then so Anthony Greene was trying to do like smash the head into the apron on top, and then one of the Platinum Honeys was on top of there, and then he reversed it and then smashed Anthony Greene's head into it. And then he said, and then he started a one more time chant.
I was a little worried about this one. Actually, at the start, I got confused as well. Somebody from the gated community came over, and they're like, Mr. Bagshaw, would you like this? And they're holding a jacket. And I was like, would you like it for blinkers? And I was like, I had no idea what they were talking about. In England, blinkers, it's actually, blinkers is like the indicators on the... Am I getting this wrong? I get my English and American words mixed up sometimes.
Blinkers are things on a car.
Correct. So I was getting totally confused. He was offering to use his jacket to cover Jackson's eyes for this match. What? Now, when we would... I know, he said blinders. I think that was a thing. And I was like, what? In England, we would call the things that racehorses have on the side of their head blinkers. So I got blinders and blinkers. So I had no idea what he was talking about until much later on in the day. But yeah, they use those on horses so they don't get distracted by what's going on around them. And for Jackson, it would have been to cover his eyes. It wasn't as bad as the previous one, thankfully. We didn't see his bare bottom in this one for like a minute. Oh my goodness. But it was a little bit nerve-wracking on this one. All right, my moment from this one is something I knew you wouldn't have picked because I saw this. We talked about EWA earlier. This must have been from about a week ago. Good luck to Adam Cole tonight as he goes for the NXT heavyweight title. Did you know that Adam Cole cut his teeth in EWA? I didn't know that, actually. It means that's where he debuted kind of stuff. It's where he learned his trade. Once holding the same Cruiserweight title, now owned by Jason Drake. Well, that was pretty cool. That's the thing with indies. You just don't know.
Yeah.
You don't know when you see them now. Or sometimes you know. Like Jordan Grace. Anyone who would listen to us, we said, she's going to be huge. And she is. I think that was a pretty easy one to pick. Relive a moment in time with this video of Adam Cole taking on superstar Alexander James. So Alexander James has also been on EWA as well, at the same time that Adam Cole was there. So I thought that was pretty cool. We haven't watched that video yet. We have spring break. I would like to watch that video, even if you don't want to watch it.
So didn't you say you knew somebody who knew Adam Cole?
No.
Or somebody who might have known?
No.
That went to the same high school?
Oh, I forgot to check that, actually. Yeah, somebody who I used to work with, who now works in Maryland. Yeah, she's from the same hometown as him. I don't know how many schools there are in that particular town. I meant to ask that. I will ask her, actually. And I don't know what Adam Cole's real name is either, because I'm sure that's not his real name. I am going to look that up, because I think that they're of a similar age. Or they might have been in the same school at the same time, but they might not have been in the same classes. Like, she might have been a freshman when he was a senior or something. But it's possible that he was known at that time. But yeah, I forgot. I'm going to have to do that after this. And I guess we'll post an update on the Twitter feed if that turns out to be true.
Yeah, so
probably won't be, but... All right, let's head towards the end. Tim Donst versus John Kermon.
Ooh, I have one moment. So, Tim Donst. So I went to use the bathroom at this point, and then I saw the Platinum Honeys talking with...
This is when
King.
After we came back, I forgot. Then you went.
While you were there was a big botch. So Tim Donst tried to do like a suplex or something, and then he put Kermon on his head. But luckily, Kermon had his arms like above his head.
Oh, okay.
So what I saw when I went to use the bathroom was I saw the Platinum Honeys with Joe King talking about their match next week.
Oh, I remember you telling me that now. Yeah.
I come back, and then, like, I see a pillow fight, and then I see,
And this is the only thing where I actually remember something about the match.
And then he put Kermon to sleep, and then he, like, puts a pillow and a blanket down, and so he sleeps.
They wrapped him up in the blanket, put the sleeper hold on him, and put him to sleep, and it's all like, shh.
Yeah. And
then the ref lifted his arm up, and of course it dropped. It's like, and then they did the 3 count, and after that it's like, yeah, because no one wanted to wake up Kermon. Somebody actually came into the ring, and he was like, no, I just want to go to sleep. It was so funny. And then they were like, chanting 5 more minutes. 5 more minutes. It was so funny. It was absolutely brilliant.
After the match, they, like, exposed Cool Caution Kyle.
They did.
And I got it right.
Well, they did, and it was because they asked us later, did we know it? Tim actually asked us, did we know? And we were like, well, yeah.
I'm 3 for 3.
But it was also, he also appeared as somebody else as well, so it wasn't that big of a surprise for this
Yeah,
one.
like the guy with the motorcycle helmet.
They switched roles sometimes depending on who was there.
So I'm 3 for 3 now.
On what?
Like Money Greene.
What do you mean?
Blank. And then Breaux Keller.
On people in masks, is that what you're saying? Oh, good job on the safety first one. Now, originally, Tim didn't actually come out in his safety stuff, I don't think. Because Jackson was not happy about that at all. He wanted to see that, and it didn't actually happen at all. Now, also Jackson, as we came back from this match, the match was already on, so we just stayed to the side. And I just said, look, just like sit down on the floor. Jackson gets up, and he's there throwing punches at the same time the matches is on, doing a little swing. It looked brilliant, and I started to film it. And some of them aren't in the same time that Tim's throwing punches, but one of them, he throws a big right hand. Jackson throws the same right hand at the same time. And I think I put on Twitter, it's something like, don't just watch the match, live the match. And I got a lot of likes. It looked really cool. You can tell Jackson was totally getting into it. I thought it was hilarious. I thought it was brilliant. Now, I put on Twitter, my phone died, but my iPod captured this right at the end last night. Jackson went to sleep after the event quicker than @Kerminator did when @Tim Donst applied his sleeper hold. First Nova Pro event I saw, a great match between those two. Last Nova Pro, the same. Cheers, guys. Yeah, the first one we went to, they had the one where they had the gloves incident, if you remember, and they were hitting each other with the gloves. Same thing. I went back and watched that recently. It was really good. The last one was even funnier. They're putting him literally to sleep and putting him in a blanket and letting him take a nap in the ring. Brilliant. It was hilarious. Everyone loved it. It was absolutely great. Now, also, we actually interacted with John Kermon on Twitter this week as well. And this is absolutely ridiculous, but in my mind, when you think of John Kermon, obviously you think of the wrestler, you think of the MMA fighter, you think bare feet, right?
Yeah.
He actually posted a picture. It said, time for some new lifting shoes, I guess. And these things had no tread on the bottom. It looked like there was a hole in there. Now, I saw it when I was logged on as you, and I was like, I'm not going to log on as me. That's too much trouble. So I quoted from you, whoa, mind blown. John Kermon in shoes? Question mark, question mark. And I put a little winky face to show it was a joke. He actually responded. He actually put, whoa, best response. He retweeted it. But really weird. The thing that, obviously John Kermon has to own shoes. Have you ever seen John Kermon in shoes?
No.
No. I felt really stupid afterwards. It's something that's so obvious, and the fact not just he has shoes that are so well worn, he has to get some new shoes.
Remember when we were going to the store to pick up your new computer?
Uh-huh.
And there was this woman behind us who had no shoes on, and it was raining outside, and she still walked outside with no shoes on.
Wow. I remember when this is going back a long time. This is probably when I was your age, when I was in England. There was somebody who I used to play, I used to go to chess club. There was somebody who was in that group as well, one of the adults that used to help out, never wore shoes.
What?
Never wore shoes. Yeah. So I don't know how you'd walk around. And where I used to live, there'd be dog mess around and there'd be all sorts of stuff. It's oh, this is gross. Yeah, really weird. Don't know what something made me think of that one. But yes, all right, last match. Arik Royal versus Logan, Easton, Laroux.
So they were fighting all around the ring, and then they went into the trash can area, and random thought. So during the dodgeball match, sort of, they were picking teams. So Faye Jackson got to pick, and she was like, "I'm going with my boy," and I was thinking Arik Royal for sure, because that was his tag team. And then she said Wheeler Yuta.
I was surprised by that as well. I was really surprised by that as well. Yeah. I thought her boy would have been that. She sat on Matt's lap when she came out of the ring and she fell out. I got a picture of it, but I couldn't find it when I was looking quickly to see where it was. But yeah. Yeah, no, great response for Faye when she came through. You did get to see that match, though, didn't you?
Yeah. So, I got to see that one and the 7 out of 13 Falls match. I want to watch the whole thing.
No.
And I want to watch Blood Sports.
No.
Why?
When you're older.
Can I watch any of them?
You just watch some. You just said you watched some. You can watch the 1 minute match as well.
I want to watch a whole event. I want to review it.
We did talk about that. Now Nova Pro's gone and GCW kind of replaced it. Could we watch GCW?
Yes.
I don't think so. I'm going to have to watch some other ones first to see.
It's really good.
Perhaps without the sound on. I don't know. We would have to see. There was many funny moments from GCW. Like Teddy Hart reading a story to the audience was hilarious.
I saw lots of funny things, but they were still really inappropriate. Mm-hmm. They were PG-13.
That's right.
But I'm 11.
Okay, so in a couple of years then, perhaps. I think some of them might be R-rated later on, but hey. All right, what else you got for this match? I'd forgotten they went all around the crowd, actually. I'd totally forgotten that one. But it was cool when Logan came out that we had the glowing foam fingers and the 1% chant and 1% and the other one sucks. 1% sucks. It was cool to get that back going again. I really enjoyed that.
After the match,
okay.
So they started talking about Nova Pro and then their time in Nova Pro, and then they went and then all the superstars started banging on the apron.
I thought one of them said they'd retired. But we just couldn't really hear. No. The microphone wasn't great, was it?
Logan said his real name, but I couldn't hear it.
Correct. I couldn't hear it either. All right, let's see what I got. Jackson dressed up as Logan. Yep. He's supposed to dress up as Tim Donst. He had his safety hat on. He had a belt on. He got all the stuff. He's like, "Can I bring some tools?" I'm like, "Sure, you can bring whatever you like, buddy." He had the helmet on, and then I turned around 2 minutes later, and
he asked me to.
Correct. 2 minutes later, he's got the little sweater tied around his neck, just like Logan, the blue one. It was brilliant. I had no problems. He looked great. He
got this new Canucks sweater for his birthday, and so he said, "I want to dress up like Logan." He took all the things off, and I said, "Find me a blue jacket." And so he did. And I tied it around his neck.
He looked really cool.
I do that sometimes. I tie it around my neck sometimes if I get too annoyed with it around my waist.
Now, I don't have much else because you actually picked up on the things that I was going to pick up on. I was going to talk about the... actually, I can talk about the GCW Best 7 of 13 Falls match. You mentioned it, but you didn't really talk much about it. Fall 1, because we're like, how are they... This isn't going to go on forever. Fall 1, I can't remember his name. It's CCK or something. Chris Brooks, thank you. First one, he just gave him a low blow straight away, so that's like, ding ding, there's match 1. The person who was his ringside with him came in, did the same thing. There was 2. And then they just had falls where they flipped from one to the other. It was like 1, 2, 3, roll back the other way, 1, 2, 3, and it quickly got to like 6, 6. Logan should have won, but he didn't, because the ref had the mask on and whatever. The loudest pop for Logan. There was a lot of people cheering. 1%. I was part of the 1% because I had my Gated Community T-shirt. Matt forgot his Gated Community T-shirt. I'm like, are you kidding me? Foam fingers. Everyone basically who was Nova was with Logan and supported him. And Logan actually mentioned there were some really loud cheers today in New Jersey City for me. There was. I actually retweeted it and put guilty as charged. What about you, Matt Willis? I was owning up. I was really loud. I was really wanting him to get a pop. We talked to him a little bit afterwards as well, because I wanted Matt to meet as many Nova Pro people as he could, because obviously he's heard about it. And it was really cool. And Matt, actually, we got a Gated Community sticker as well. He actually put it on his phone. I didn't even notice it until like a day later. So permanently on his phone, he's got like the Gated Community. He was really getting into it. He totally embraced all the Nova stuff, the Logan stuff, the 1% stuff. It was great. It was really cool to have that. I'm sure we'll go see Logan again. The one that they mentioned, I never remember what it's called. Primal Fury?
Primal Conflict.
Primal Conflict, there you go. I'm sure we'll go and see that as well. If I'm prepared to travel up to New Jersey to go and see a match, I'm sure we can travel an hour and a half to West Virginia at some point to see it. I'm not sure what the rest of those things are like, whether Jackson will be coming or I'm not really sure. Arik, we weren't going to wait till WrestleMania because we weren't sure. He did tell us he was going to be at WrestleMania, and obviously he was because we just talked about that. We had to ask him. I went across to him and I said, hey, Arik, you got time for a quick interview? It's just going to be 2 questions. And he was like, absolutely. He was really nice about it.
All right, we're at Nova Pro's last event still. We got Arik Royal with us. Arik, we had a question that came up on our podcast a few episodes ago, and we're dying to know the answer. Question 1, do you like the film Space Jam?
I do. I love the film Space Jam, if you couldn't tell.
King, question 2. Why do you like Space Jam?
It's such a big part of my childhood, man. And growing up when that movie came out and Michael Jordan making his comeback and, Michael Jordan playing basketball with the Looney Tunes, like, come on, you can't beat that.
Now, see, that's what I thought as well. Mason had a theory that as you do face jams, that you like Space Jam because of that, because it rhymed. So officially then, you can say it's not because it was something that rhymed, right? It was just because you actually like the film.
No, exactly. And I thought it was a cool name for the movie because I feel like I'm dunking the guy's face into the name.
There you go. We had a hashtag that Mason's always right, so just for one last time on Nova Pro, I wanted to get Mason's wrong. So thank you for putting that one to rest.
Hey, no problem, man.
No, so he does like Space Jam, but not because it rhymes with Face Jam, not surprisingly. But hey, it was a funny interview. Possible Christmas Cracker nomination again. I still listen to that clip. That's on my podcast. That's on my playlist, I mean. I listen to that clip all the time, the original one. It's so funny.
And it says next to it that it's explicit.
I don't know how they did that. I don't know where that was. It might. Oh, I can tell you why that's from that. That's the Visionaries Wrestling Network. They list all their podcasts as explicit, even though most of them are not. You can't do half and half. Like, you can't put ours as PG and then, like, Chris Caden's as explicit, so everything has to go explicit. I would rather they do it that way than have what we've had before, where you have some of that PG and then you listen to it thinking it's okay, and then suddenly there's F-bombs being dropped or worse. So I'm okay with that. So I'd forgotten that was the reason why it actually said that. And we will get to see some more of these guys, certainly, because Flying V Theatre comes up in July, and we certainly know Logan's going to be at that one, or it looks like it from the last story. I know Ugly Duckling's going to be there. I'm not sure who else is going to be there, but so we'll certainly be talking about those. Not sure what we're going to do to fill the hole from Nova Pro right now. Like we said, we talked about GCW. I had an idea for another one as well that I started to watch that featured some Nova Pro people. I don't know. You wanted to talk about MLW as well, so we'll have to see what we actually do. Okay. I guess also we should thank all the people who've listened to Nova Pro. Certainly our audiences have increased a lot. We've had wrestlers who've listened to us, who've been very nice to us. Who've retweeted us. Obviously, all the fans who are there. I'm not going to try and name everybody, but obviously people who we've sat next to have been really good to us. And basically, a lot of people have been really nice to us and said, oh, you have the podcast, and they've listened in. And we would have done this if probably nobody listened because we just have fun doing it. But the fact that people have listened on a regular basis and given us positive feedback, I think that's really helped. It's going to be weird not doing this anymore. I still think, what about going back and reviewing the old ones? We talked about it.
I think we should just review like WrestleGate Pro, Flying V, GCW, sort of.
So you're happy doing the indie events and not really doing WWE anymore? We do certainly have a few more WrestleGate Pros.
I do like WWE sometimes to get a break from doing like full notes.
Okay.
So.
Okay. We haven't done full notes in a long time. That's one of our big differences. We riff a lot more. I took a look on here just to check it was still recording. We're nearly at an hour, Mason. We didn't have anything. We had absolutely nothing for this one at all.
We have all the clips.
And we still got to add in the clips yet as well, so we're going to be way over an hour. Although I'm going to edit some of your stuff out that wasn't appropriate.
Thanks.
We'll leave people guessing what you said that wasn't appropriate. Okay. Whatever you're thinking, it wasn't really that bad, but we're not including it anyway. All right, that's it. Should we steal Matt's line?
No.
We're out of here.
Thanks for voting for me.
For the podcaster of the year? I don't know how many people did that. They didn't have the stats for it, but no, you were totally deserving of that. I can't think of anybody who would be a more deserving winner of that award. I'm going to say you were 10. You were 10, you're now 11, and yeah, what you've achieved in a year is really good, and I can't even imagine how good you're going to be at this by the time you get to 12, 13, 14, whatever. If you still want to do that, or when girls come on the horizon, or when baseball comes... Alright, I think that means we're done then. He's trying to stop, he's trying to hit me, and he's trying to stop the recording. Alright, we're out of here.
It's goodbye from me.
And it's goodbye from him.
Goodbye.
The music was Zigzag by Kevin MacLeod at incompetech.com, licensed under Creative Commons by Attribution 3.0, http://creativecommons.org/licenses/by/3.0.